Okay, Lee, how are you?
I'm doing well. How you doing today?
I'm doing pretty well too. Let me start from the beginning. You are diagnosed with a narcissist personality disorder. How would you describe that?
Describe narcissistic personality disorder.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder, commonly referred to as NPD online since about 2017. Through psychotherapy. I've been in therapy for 4 years. Narcissistic personality disorder is pretty much, really, really extremely egotistical people that shift blame, never take accountability, never take responsibility. People that consistently lie and tell, false truths and gaslight you, manipulate you. A lot of times, not everybody, but a lot of times they cheat on you. They do stuff like that. They're pretty much the epitome of toxic people. The toxic man or the toxic woman.
Do you do that kind of things?
Right now, no, not necessarily. No, not me anymore because I've been in therapy for the last 4 years. So I don't do this as much as I used to anymore. Like there's no cure for it because it's a personality disorder. So what therapy does help with is, controlling the behaviors and things like that. Trying to, help me just maintain my semblance in society and live a pretty decent life and help people out and things like that.
So how did you realize you were a narcissist? Because it's not, I think it's not that common to see someone who is aware of that.
So from childhood, since I was little, I tell this to people, like I've always known how I thought was different because I didn't really feel like I fit in to everybody's crowd. I felt like my mindset worked differently. How even people would be crying and stuff like that, and I'd just be like, "Why are you crying? Like, what's the point of crying here? Why are you happy? What's the point of being happy here?" I didn't really understand other people's emotions, but I used to do that type of stuff to just blend in with people. So I've always known I was very, very different from the beginning. But meeting my wife and just being married for a while, me and her got into a huge argument, and then she just called me a narcissist. And I didn't know what it was. I thought narcissist was just a term where you call somebody that had a big ego, somebody that's full of themselves and conceited and arrogant. That's what I thought it was. So I called her a narcissist back. Then she ends up leaving the house. So I look it up. I get curious. I look up narcissist on Google. But Google pretty much autofills you and takes you down the rabbit hole. So I saw the personality disorder. I saw the traits that came along with it. And I just like, dang, it made a lot of sense to me, because I told you, I've always felt like I was different. So it made a lot of sense to me as to why I was this way. That gave me the answers that I had been looking for. Yeah. Whereas you get a lot of people who are not looking for those same answers. So they don't want to hear it. So if you call another person a narcissist, they'll throw it back at you, and then they'll pretty much attack you. Sometimes physically, because calling somebody a narcissist is in today's society is disrespectful. Yeah, it is. It's just like it's not like calling somebody cute. It's like calling somebody a terrible person or a toxic person and blaming them for pretty much whatever you have going on in your relationship.
So once you Googled about it, what did you do then?
I sent my wife a text message. I was like, look, I looked it up. Like, yeah, this is me. And I was like, it sucks that this is me and I got to deal with it. And this is how I got to live my life. This is how I'm going to live my life. I'm just going to continue to move forward and do what I can do. I'll go to therapy. There's no cure, but I guess I can go to therapy to figure out how I can live a better life, for us and for we had like a 6-month-old son at that time. Like I joined some Facebook groups with other people who had narcissistic personality disorder. I joined there's hundreds of people in those groups, so those people in those groups helped me learn how to find a therapist. And it kind of showed me that you can live a life with this disorder and still have a good life. You know what I mean?
And then you were officially diagnosed.
Yes.
So what do you want people to think about you when they first meet you?
Me personally, or just before, like right now, or before diagnosis?
Before the diagnosis.
I pretty much wanted everybody to like me, first of all. So I would try to blend into any type of crowd by learning so much information about the event I was going to, the people I was going to be around, and asking pertinent questions to try to see what I had in common with people. And I would just focus on the stuff that we had in common. I don't focus on the differences because the differences kind of push you apart sometimes. Especially in today's society, the differences kind of push you away from people. So you would focus on the common stuff, like what do we have in common? And you just hammer away at the stuff that you have in common so that person would like you. You're like, man, I like this person. Like, it's cool. Like, I didn't realize he knew about this stuff. Like, yeah, I knew.
Let's say you're married and you get caught cheating. Can you give me an example of how a narcissist reacts on the outside to that situation and what he's really thinking?
There's a lot of pieces, right? How did I get caught cheating? That's like that's step one. Like how? So the how is important.
You were texting someone and she saw the messages.
Okay. Why are you looking at my phone?
No,
because you left it on the table.
So that don't mean look at my phone. I don't look at your phone when you leave it on the table.
But
so no, I'm talking to you now. This is what would happen if I got caught. You see how it got really, really quick. Because that's why I say why is important. Because if you caught me, that's the first question I would ask. How did you find out? First of all, it's what are you talking about? Then if they have evidence, it's how did you find out? Like how did you know this? Oh, you looked at my phone while I was on the table? How's it like you looked at one message on my phone while I was on the table and decided I was cheating on you? What kind of trust issues do you have with me? Like that says more about you than it about me. That's first of all, that's just a friend that I know. There's nothing going on there. If you would have asked me instead of going through my phone, then we wouldn't be arguing right now. And now I can never trust you again. You know what I'm saying? I would flip it back on you really, really quick.
And suddenly it's my fault.
We wouldn't be fine right now if you would have went through my phone. You happy? 5 minutes ago, were you happy? Yes. Now you're not happy because you went through my phone. You ruined this. It's your fault. You know? Is it not true? Did you ruin your own happiness by going through my phone? Yes. So there's a little truth to it right there. So you focus on a little. The goal is to get you to focus on a little bit of truth. Just a little bit of truth. Did you not go through my phone and ruin your own day? Yes. What I did is irrelevant because you wouldn't have knew if you went through my phone.
Okay, this is going to sound weird because you told me you're married, but is it possible for a narcissist who doesn't know about their own narcissism to genuinely love someone?
I want to say if they don't know about the narcissism, I think that example of genuine love is not going to be enough for the other person. Not genuinely love you they'll love you until you take something away from them that they want. You know what I mean? Like they'll love you until you violate one of those conditions. I just feel like they can genuinely love you, but it's very, very conditional. I know a lot of people are like, that's not love then. That's to a narcissist, that's love. Like I love you until you do something wrong to me and then I don't love you again. And you can't get that love back. It's gone forever. So even before I was aware of my personality disorder, I feel like I've had some long-term relationships where I felt like I was really in love, you know? Until that person did something to me, then I was out of love, like almost immediately. I just I don't love this person anymore.
Have you done something you regret?
I've regretted a lot of stuff.
For example?
Not being there, for my kids as much as I should have been before I was diagnosed, before I was aware of everything. Yeah, I regret that type of stuff. But what can I do about it now? I feel regret, and a lot of narcissistic people do feel regret, but you just don't hold on to it. It's just like what good? It doesn't serve me. You know, if it doesn't serve me, you got to let it go. And that includes this regret, guilt, love, people, anything. If it doesn't serve the narcissistic person, they tend to let it go. Just let it fly.
What makes a narcissist happy?
Typically, you ask a normal person that question. They're like, well, it makes me happy. It's my family and my friends and stuff like that. Like, this makes me happy. But every single narcissistic person, I think, is chasing happiness. Which is why they replace a lot of people throughout their lives. They replace people throughout their lives. They change relationships. They change families. They change jobs consistently. I feel like they're chasing. They really don't. They think that certain things make them happy, but it never really does. So they feel like they always changing the situation up to actually try to feel what they think happiness is. I call it the pursuit of happiness. They're chasing after that happiness and whatever it takes to get there. Whatever it takes for them to feel like they're going to be happy, they'll do it.
What would you recommend to someone who is caught in a relationship, in a toxic relationship with a person who has the disorder?
Typically, I say the first thing is to realize that nothing you ever do will be enough for that person. If you are dealing with a real narcissist, nothing you do can fix that person. Nothing you do will ever make that person truly happy. And I feel like a lot of people get caught up in those situations where they're trying to give so much to that narcissistic person in their lives. They take away from themselves. They start to lose weight. They start to gain weight. They start to give up their hobbies. They start to give up their friends. They just want to make this one person happy, but they don't realize that that's an impossible task that you're on, because nothing you do will be enough. And if you make them happy in the moment, if you do that same thing again, it won't make them happy again. They've moved. They call it moving the goalpost, changing the target of the destination and stuff like that. I just feel like the main thing is to realize, you know, a lot of times, most times, there's nothing you can do.
Do you think they can like introduce them to therapy, like to try to get them there?
Getting them to therapy is the first step. Is going to be a very, very difficult step, because because most people, not even just narcissists, don't want to admit anything is wrong with them. So in a narcissist brain, you are the problem. Like, they've got to the point where I'm 36 years old. Let's say I'm 36 years old. I've gotten to the point where I'm 36 years old. I'm mildly successful. Why do I need to go to therapy to make you happy if I've made it 36 years to this point right now? It's not just one therapy session. They have to go, like me, I have to go to therapy for the rest of my life. I mean, I'll be in therapy for the rest of my life, and I'm fine with that. You know, that's what I have to do to live my life the way I want to live it. So I'll be in therapy for the rest of my life, you know. So is the person in your life, are they willing to go to therapy at least once? That's tough. But for the rest of their lives, that's tougher, you know. So I just feel like a lot of times the only thing you can really do is to help yourself, to work on yourself. Get yourself into therapy to learn how to deal with. You want to stay with that person, you need to go to therapy to learn how to deal with that person, you know.
What is the most common question that you get asked?
I think you might have asked it earlier. Can narcissists love people? I tell people, you know, I always ask that, like, how are they treating you? Are they treating you like they love you? Are they treating you like they treasure you and they value you? And most times their question is going to be, most times the answer to that question is going to be no. They treat them like they don't care about me. And at the beginning of a lot of these relationships, they treat you like they love you because they do. They value you. They want to take care of you. They want to make you happy. But eventually they stop doing that and they start treating you badly. And then I'm pretty sure they take the love away, and you try to fight to get it back because you loved it so much. You know, you love being in a relationship with this person so much that you try to fight to get back to the beginning of it, to the opening sequence, because it was so good in the beginning. I wish we can go back, turn back the hands of time to get back to the beginning. Like, you treated me so great back then. Now it's like, damn, you treat me terribly right now. I hate you.
Is there anything else you would like to say?
I feel like if you think that you are dealing with a narcissist, educate yourself as much as possible. Get more than one source of information. Don't just trust one source of information, because if you're trusting the wrong source of information, then you have everything wrong.
Thank you so much for being here. A todos los que nos están mirando les digo que si les gustó la entrevista se pueden suscribir al canal. Pueden ir a seguirme en Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, todas las redes sociales que quieran, pues estoy en todos lados. Y si quieren pueden donarme un cafecito, suscribirse a Patreon para ayudarme a que Vivir Siendo se pueda seguir realizando de manera independiente. Lee, thank you very much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me on.
Bye.
Bye.